Okay, so the game plan is we start with a few slides to tell you a small introduction about SciFlow and give you all the information you would need to start a free trial with SciFlow. After that presentation, there will be Arthur showing you a live demonstration of SciFlow and the most important features. And again, for the people who joined a little bit later, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the Q&A section in Zoom at any time. All right. Maybe let's start here. So we started SciFlow a few years back, always with the goal in mind to get rid of all the frustrating aspects in academic writing. And so far, institutions joined SciFlow, Max Planck, Helmholtz, for example, two very famous research institutions. Those researchers are working with SciFlow. We are also supported by the government in EU initiatives to advance open access, and also backed by industry leaders in Europe. But actually, I wanted to come to the point why we started SciFlow. So because Frederick, the second co-founder, and I, we were students and we were researchers, and there were always a few things we found frustrating when it comes to writing publications. Formatting being top of the list, there's still a lot of time that goes into formatting. Also, collaboration we experienced as challenging back in the days, because although there are online tools like Google Docs, for example, they're great general purpose tools, but when it comes to academia, there are a few things in the workflows that need to be supported, different reference managers, for example, and to have all the templates that are available actually at hand when it comes to writing. Or a different example for a workflow, if you want to change the journal you want to submit in, because maybe the first time you didn't get accepted, then you need to do the formatting again. And these are all things we thought it could be done better with a tool that is tailored for academia, that is tailored for students and researchers to write publications. So introducing SciFlow. There's no installation necessary. You can sign up with a free account, but today we tell you how institutional trial work. But no matter which way, there is no installation necessary. You can start writing right away. You can invite your colleagues, your peers all over the world to write with you on the paper together. And if you collected already references, for example, in Mendeley or Zotero, you can directly bring those references into SciFlow. And another very important features for our customers is data privacy and to be compliant in that area. So we make sure at SciFlow the user data stays safely stored within our systems, and we do nothing else with it. But one of the most important features our users like is actually that the written text in SciFlow can be exported with one click into the desired style. And this is done with our templates. So during the trial, you get access to all our templates, which includes over 5,000 journal templates in SciFlow. So we have those templates from the publishers and the open access publishers you know already in SciFlow. And if there is a template missing, you have the chance to request that template directly in SciFlow. If you're not sure where you want to publish your paper, we do have academic style templates where based on your research discipline, you can select the template you would like to start writing, and if you're not sure where to submit yet. So, for example, for psychology, the academic style template you would use is the one from the APA directly in SciFlow. And also there are institutional templates in SciFlow. So, for example, for students who write their home assignment or their thesis, we can incorporate the style of university templates directly in SciFlow. And students write their text and then export a typesetted PDF with one click. There are also integrations we support. So it's always our goal not to reinvent the wheel, but use what's already out there. Reference managers, for example, is a great example, but also there are language checkers that are integrated, and things in academia which are a necessity. For example, ORCID for easier data retrieval of author information, so you don't have to type in your institution in SciFlow, or if you need to write equations, you can do this in LaTeX code. Yeah, speaking about LaTeX, one of the questions we get is if SciFlow is an alternative to LaTeX, and we prefer to say that we are an alternative for all the users who work with Google Docs and Microsoft Word at the moment. And SciFlow provides more value, and because it's specialized in academia and it saves time for researchers because there's no formatting anymore. But at the same time, it's an easy to use online editor. So when Arthur shows you the demo, I hope you get an impression that this is something that can be easily learned. And of course, there are things you need to have in academia, equation, figures, tables that are supported. What we see in reality is that, especially in interdisciplinary research, where, for example, Word users are collaborating with LaTeX users, often the SciFlow works as a common ground, and because there are some features that even LaTeX users appreciate, for example, the automatic formatting and the support for writing equations in LaTeX code. All right, so since we are talking about institutional trials today as well, just want to give you an overview of a couple of our customers we work with. So I mentioned Max Planck Helmholtz. There are lots more in especially Europe and Asia. We are over 100 institutions now who work with SciFlow. And you probably been invited by one of our partners today. So if you have any questions for the institutional trial after the webinar, feel free to turn to our partners that are displayed at the bottom. Or of course, you can always contact myself as well. Okay, so during the trial, you get access to all pro features of the SciFlow authoring platform. That includes an unlimited number of documents, co-authors, all the collaborative features, as well as support, and as mentioned, as well as the templates and the possibility to request new journal templates. Of course, if you want to have a longer trial that even might be paid, there's also the option that we provide a customized template for your institutional customized templates. For example, for thesis or home assignments, it would be an option as well for longer term trials. So the way you can actually request the trial is you can either contact the partner or go to our website. You will find the form there as well, or just write me an email to request the trial. So the only important thing here is that it's institution-wide trial. So if you're an individual student or researcher who joined the webinar today, thank you for that. And the best way to request a trial is to go to your department or an institutional level and let them request a trial for you. And we have this confirmed very fast. So within a week, we can set up the trial and get the institution ready to go. The trial itself, it lasts 1 to 2 months, where we actually support or recommend that the trial should be 2 months, because there's not always a writing project at hand that researchers and students are starting with. So 1 month might be not enough, and so we prefer definitely 2 month free trial. After this time, there is a reporting. So we provide some statistics: how many users, how many students, how many researchers. Of course, this is not on individual level, but always accumulated data. One metric we identified and think is really important, besides the obvious one, how many users and so on, is how many minutes our users from the institution spent in SciFlow and how many templates they tried. So how many time they spent, and the templates give us a good idea if the trial was a success at the institution. Of course, the last step is the decision to go with the institution or campus-wide or department-wide agreement for SciFlow on an annual basis. All right. Before we go to the live demo, you can think of questions, of course, for a second, if you have any questions about the trial program. If there's anything I could clarify, please let me know. So I have one agenda point left in my presentation, and which is very fast get you through the benefits of working with SciFlow. And the first being collaboration. So SciFlow has been built to be collaborative. That includes writing, making comments, even having discussions in SciFlow with our comment feature, but also things like keeping track of changes or making suggestions to the text is included as well. And the thing I mentioned before, if you're working with different reference managers, you wouldn't even know in SciFlow, because your co-authors would just see the references you used, but not the program you've been working with. So it doesn't matter if one is using Mendeley and the other uses Citace and the next one uses Zotero, it will be all right in SciFlow. Now, the second benefit, especially for researchers, is it simplifies submitting. It saves researchers time with our templates. For students, there's PDF typesetting. So I forgot to mention this. So especially with the journal submission templates, you actually get a Word document, because this is what publishers would expect at the moment. For students, they can do actually a little bit more. They can export a completely typesetted PDF document based on the institution layout. And we do support different types of theses, bachelor, master, PhD, different languages. Here's an example from Croatia, but we do have templates that are actually in Arabic and Farsi, so from right to left. So they're, I hope Arthur doesn't disagree with me if I say so that everything is possible in terms of different languages in SciFlow. The fourth point I want to mention that again is data privacy security. So we provide features, for example, Sing SN that makes the solution GDPR compliant. SciFlow runs in certified data centers. But as mentioned, the most important thing is that users get to keep their own data. And at some point, if they want to delete the SciFlow account for whatever reason, for example, the students is just not a student anymore, and they can export their data and then delete the account, and there's nothing left. And this is, yeah, I think from European GDPR perspective, this is something very important also to consider in terms of collaboration. The last point, and we're not talking too much about this today, are publishing workflows directly in SciFlow. So we are talking about actually writing in SciFlow, but there is a second part where SciFlow is used to produce publications. For example, if researchers at the institution run a scholarly-led journal, run a Diamond Open Access journal, and are looking to produce the actual typesetted PDF, HTML, EPUB, JATS-XML, or there's a university press who produces publications. There might be that SciFlow is a tool that could be useful as well. So here on the right, you see one journal that is produced with SciFlow, and I think we're working about around 20 journals with SciFlow now, who produce their documents with SciFlow. Usually they upload it with to OGS. And if you didn't understand this, now no worries. This is the only slide and the only time we mentioned this today. But if this is interesting for you, if you're involved in a scholarly journal, or if you're involved with the university press, please get in touch. We would like to tell you more about this and see how we can support. All right. I think now it is time for a live demo with Arthur. Let me see if there are any questions. No, okay. So usually all the questions come during the demo. I will keep an eye on them. And over to you, Arthur, and have fun.
Yeah, thank you so much, Carsten. First of all, warm welcome from me as well. Let me go ahead and share my screen. So what I have in store for you today is to look a little bit at the use cases that Carsten already described. And for that, we'll first have a look at one of the portals. That's just exemplary for how it can look like. This is one of our currently running trials. And then we'll have a look at how to create a new document with a template, and then have a look at some example documents to see how the export works, and then also have a sneak peek into reference work and into collaboration as well. So this could be one of the portals that you can use during your trial, where members of your institution or university can sign up. And the portal also provides some materials and resources for your users to get onboarded. I'm already logged in, so I'm just going to go ahead and launch the app. And to give a striking demo of SciFlow, the first thing that we'll look at, and the thing we'll focus most on, is not the landing page here where you have all your documents, but rather the templates that Carsten already talked about. So in the app menu, we go to the templates right away, because they do not only export and format your document automatically, they also shape your workflow and how you achieve your goal or achieve the result of academic text that you're looking for. And here we have these 3 pillars of templates that we currently offer. So the academic styles, as Carsten said, a little bit broader. Then here, thesis documents, where if you're happy with SciFlow and want to go forward after your trial, you can deposit one of a custom thesis template, so it doesn't have to be the standard one. And then here, the journal templates, you already see this is tagged as the Pro version. So access to all those custom templates that all address and attend to one specific journal. We have like over 5,000 already. These are available through the trial. So with the free account, you wouldn't reach that. So this is where your users can really benefit from using the trial, and then maybe later on a license as well. And as you see here, you can request templates at any time. Even though we have quite the assortment and collection of templates already. There's still more, so yeah, feel free to request templates. That is well within your rights with the trial. Yeah. So for now, let me go ahead. I'll open this in a new tab. I'll just quickly create 2 new documents. We'll start with the thesis one. So here I can just say, hey, I want to write a thesis, and let's have you look how that looks like. So if I click on start writing here, it will create a document for me, and it will create corresponding chapters that are appropriate to what I'm trying to do. So here we have a cover page and then some chapters for abstract, introduction, and methods. So it's a little at the broader scale of things, more like to get things started. And it looks a little different if we go to the journal library here, because here I can say, I actually want to write for a very specific journal, maybe climate of the past. So once I have that template found, I just click on it and a document will be created again. But since this is so specific for one journal, we have deposited some of the help text and the directories of the directions from the guidelines. So here, rather than just saying it's an abstract chapter, you have some of the hints that were given in the guidelines on how you structure your documents and how you should use it. So you can get a running start, even though we haven't written anything yet. You are supported in creating your document the way it should look like, given to the respective guidelines. And to really bring the thought across that SciFlow does the formatting automatically, I would like to just go ahead and export the document. Even though nothing is written here right now, we can still see how the formatting works and takes effect. And we will quickly do this for this document and then for the thesis as well, to see the differences and then really see what's really is possible with these example documents that I prepared, where we have a little bit more substance to showcase what is possible. So here I just go to the export menu. I see the template applied that I just used. This is climate of the past. And here I can just directly download this as a Word file. You have some options for language and citation style, but these are most of the time for the journal templates already set to the right setting. And so I just click on download as Word here. And then you should see this Word file. It's generated for me directly. As you saw, it takes one click and a few seconds. And what happens then is that it just takes all the contents that you find in the editor and the export and translates it into the formatting that is embedded in the template that we just chosen. And as you see here, there's a distinct formatting applied to the document. So we have the document title a certain way. The author information is fetched from my SciFlow account. And then we have these little things like line numbering in steps of 5, which chapter will be numbered, which chapter isn't numbered, page numbering in general, and all that stuff. So without me having written anything, you can still see that format is applied here, and I don't have to worry about that at all. What I have to worry about is just purely the contents of the document, and then minor things like the structure and stuff like that. And the same thing is true for thesis as well. And here you will see that the standard thesis template produces a PDF in the export menu. But since this is a little empty and a little bit boring, at this point, I really like to jump to the example document here, because this is where I filled out the cover page a little bit more to have it a little bit more plastic and more in practice to see what that does. And then I filled this out with lorem ipsum text, and we have some figures and tables here as well. So we will see how all that stuff works. And I also placed some references here so we can really appreciate what the export does with that. So in the export menu here, it's the same template, the standard thesis template, just a document with a little bit more substance. And when I click on download here, pretty much the same thing happens as before. The export takes all the contents from the editor and then translates it. Only that this time it's a PDF document, and we have some slight changes because there are different goals with the thesis than with the journal manuscript submission. So here we have the cover page automatically formatted after the contents that were placed in the editor. And then we see things like the abstract with Roman numbering on the pages because this is the front matter. And then we see the contents, the table of contents is created automatically, as well as the list of tables and the list of figures. Everything is linked, so we can navigate through the documents via the table of contents here or via the infrastructure embedded in the PDF. So you really receive a well-structured and formatted PDF right from the get-go. And yeah, the rest is just, once again, applying formatting, having consistent formatting as well. So if we take a look at how figures work, you will see that figures will be formatted the same way each and every time. The numbering will be always correct because it's automatically created. And you also have other things like the references done here in a specific style. Automatically, these are linked as well. So we can jump to the bibliography right away where the citation style will be applied automatically as well. So these are all the things that SciFlow does automatically by just taking all the contents that you have in the editor and then transform it into the formatting that is embedded in the template. And the same is true for the journals as well. So let's have a look at this journal demo document here. Really want to bring the point across and drive it home that the formatting just takes whatever is in the editor and then translates it into the formatting that is provided. Because here, once again, we have a little substructure. So subchapters here, we have figures here as well, some tables, and at the end, some references as well, to really give you an idea what happens when you progress the document. So we saw the climate of the past template with the new document here without changing anything. And now we have a little bit more fleshed out version of a text. So once again, go to download as Word to really give you an idea of how SciFlow can handle all these different elements and how to put it into a consistent formatting as well. So once again, I receive a Word file here, and then we see all those things, formatting decisions we were able to observe before that. So line numbering in steps of 5, but then again, other things as well, like the footnote automatically numbered as well. Then we have some cross-references. We have some references here as well in author date style. And then we have the figures numbered automatically, page numbering still applies. And then we see the references formatted automatically as well. And the really nice thing, and one of the reasons why I jumped back to the journal example document as well, is in some use cases, you might want to switch lanes at some point. You maybe realize that this isn't a journal that you actually want to submit to. So you can at any point switch the template. This isn't the case for thesis most of the time because you have one thesis template, especially if you have a customized institutional one available. But for journals, a lot of stuff can happen while you write. So here in the export menu, you can change the template as at any time as well. And this really helps illustrate what the formatting does and how the templates work. Because here I can go for a different journal like Acta Astronautica. It's definitely not the same field, but what we can see here is for one, a change of formatting, and the other thing is a change of citation style. So here we have a numeric citation style that means that the author's date style that we saw being applied just a few seconds ago is now switched out with a numeric style. So we see that the references automatically change their style by just switching the template. So once again, I just simply click on download as Word, and we will now see that the content stays the same as we saw before, but we will receive a different formatting, because this is a different journal with different requirements in regards to how things should be formatted. So as we see here, right out of the get-go, I think it's quite obvious that this is a different styling. The title is a little different. The author information is the same, but presented a little differently as well. And now we have continuous line numbering, while also maintaining the same contents, like the footnote is still there. We still have the cross-reference, but if you're observant, you will already see here the references is not in-text citation with an author date style, but rather like this endnote here. So this changed automatically as well. So you have things that stay the same, mostly in reference to the contents itself, but everything around that switches based on the template and the citation style connected to a template. So this is really important to understand, but if you get that, you will understand how SciFlow can be helpful, because you don't have to worry about citation styles anymore. Even if you're switching the template, the citation style will be applied correctly, provided that you maintained your references well, which we will get to later. And you can really focus on just having the contents right and leave all the formatting stuff to SciFlow. So that's the idea here behind the templates, how they can give you a head start, because creating a new document with a template helps you, and then having all the formatting work lifted off your shoulders. Have a look at the time. So what I would like to do now is to just give some sneak peeks on how you can work a little bit with SciFlow, maybe how you can achieve a document like that without going into full training mode, and then have a look at the references for sure. And at the end, I prepared a little chapter where we can simulate how collaboration can look like in SciFlow as well. So if you look at the document here that we see here, there are little different chapters. So SciFlow is structured in chapters as main units, as you will see here in the document outline as well. You have these H1s, and then there is the substructure in H2 below them. So you can add new chapters at any time. So you're not bound to use the chapter that we pre-create for you when you create a new document. You can simply decide how you want your structure to look, and then use the context menus here to really implement a substructure that you want to use, or maybe this is rather a subheading. However you want to structure the chapters or the document itself, as you see here, is up to you to really bring that red thread into your argument, into your manuscript that you are looking for. And above that, everything else, when it comes to working with the document, you'll find here in the format bar. This is the place where you can edit and add text and further bring it up to your liking, while it is very, very much focused on academic writing. So you don't find anything here that isn't beneficial for academic writing. So if you want to like make something bold or something, like you'll find that up there. And you will also find the option to, for instance, add some figures here via the option here to just upload an image and then give it a caption and notes, as you see here. And the same is true for tables, which you will be able to add via the format bar as well, by just saying, hey, I want to have so many columns or so many rows, or actually I have the image of a table here. So you have different approaches and angles on how to create tables and then work with them. Also via the format bar, as you see here, you get a few more options when you work with tables. So you can really design the tables that you're looking for by merging cells and then maybe deleting rows again or columns altogether, and then just create the table that you're looking for. So this is, when it comes to the editing, you'll find everything in the format bar here on top to really edit the text and get to the contents that you like. And for everything further, regarding context or everything else, you will find the sidebar here, where we will see, for instance, the document outline, where you have all the chapters that are in one document, but also all the text elements like figures or tables. You can navigate through the document through here. You can use that to cross-reference as well. So if I want to cross-reference the table, I just drag it into the text, and then you will see that there's the cross-reference here, and the export, as you saw, will format that automatically and apply the right numbering, while also in the PDF version for thesis provide an internal link in the document to that element as well. So yeah, this is the context of the document outline. You will find the authors menu here, where you can maintain your own account, where the author information is fetched from, but you have also other things like comments, which we'll get to in a second. Spell check is also available here through language tools, so you can check for typos in your chapters as well. And then we have the reference library here as well. The export we already saw plenty. Let's have a look at the reference library here before we go to the collaboration part, just to really showcase on how the underlying principle works here. So if we see this reference here, hopefully you already get an idea. This isn't like plain text. This is like a semantic element. So if I click on it, I'll see that this is a reference with a key. We have metadata here available with things like the authors, the year it was published, and stuff like that. So all the important information to apply a citation style is already uploaded to SciFlow and part of my personal library, which is currently empty. And that all comes from my reference management system. Here, personally, I use Zotero. There I'll gather all the examples that I want to showcase in these webinars. But there are also different reference management systems that we all include. So there's no reference management system that isn't in its base somehow incorporatable through SciFlow. So as you see here, Mendeley can be connected, Zotero can be connected directly, and then for Citavi or EndNote, you can upload bib files. That's the same for SciWheel, JabRef, or Citace, as you see here, or you can just upload bib files that you got from somewhere else. So you have different venues and angles of uploading your references and the metadata, and you will find here that we try to support each of those with a support article where you can learn more on how to integrate them. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to get into detail on that topic. But as you will see here, I showed my Zotero. It is connected to SciFlow already, so I only need to synchronize the apps. And then I will receive all the references in SciFlow. So all the metadata I maintained in Zotero are now here. So if I did a good job there, I have an easy time here. And if we look at the reference chapter here, you will see that SciFlow actually automatically recognizes references that are placed. So I don't have to worry about the reference list at all. So I can just take one of those references here, drag it into the text, have it available here, and then we'll see that it's automatically added to the list of references, where it will be formatted automatically once we export, as you saw in the examples that I gave earlier. So this is a very easy way to benefit from organizing references in a reference management system if you do that anyway. And then the other thing that Carsten talked about also is that they are listed, all the references used in a document are listed here in this document tab, which makes them viable for sharing. So everybody that I invite to a document to collaborate on would be able to use these references, even if they don't use a reference management system or use a different management system. So for instance, I use Zotero here, they use EndNote, they will still be able to access those references. And rather than just talking about it, maybe we'll just head into the collaboration part. So to give you an idea how that could work, you are able to invite people to your document. So you don't send out different versions. You can have them be part of your document at any time. And as Carsten said, these can be your peers and colleagues all over the world. There's no limit or a threshold on who you can invite to a document, other than that they need to have a SciFlow account. So here in the authors menu, I go to invite an author, choose a role. Co-author or comment only are the most prevalent ones. And once I decided on what role my invitee needs to have, I just copy the link here. I can send an invite to an email address as well, but this way I have it ready in my clipboard, and I can open up an incognito tab, which then helps me pretend to be someone else. So I just paste in the link that I just created. And when I follow that link, you will see we don't grant access to a document to just anyone. You need to verify by having a SciFlow account, but since they are free, working together is free as well. So if you have a SciFlow account, log in, otherwise just sign up. So here I'll just use one of my alter ego accounts, as I said, to pretend to be someone else. And if I don't mistype, I should be able to be part of the document that we were just working on. So as you see here, my alternate persona is now part of the document. So if we look at the authors here, there's my original account and there's my alter ego account. And I could start working in the document right now. But since SciFlow also offers ways to track changes, which is also one of the pro features of SciFlow, so one of the benefits you receive by having a trial, I would advise before inviting somebody to just create a revision. Because revisions, let me just name that here, like before the invite, revisions take or make a snapshot of the document at this moment in time that you create them. So SciFlow now knows, okay, this is how the document looks like at this given moment in time. So everything that my alter ego now wants to change in the document can be trackable. So if I make changes here, use the document outline to navigate through the document like this and go to the chapter we can work together in, everything I write here can be tracked, for instance. So I can write whatever I want. As you will see here, when I jump back to the original document, this is conveyed in real time. So you can collaborate in real time as well, set up a call and maybe find a way to work together in real time to maximize efficiency. And everything that is written here can be later then also tracked via track changes to really illustrate who wrote what and at what point in time. Also, that I don't forget, we can share references. So let's have a look at the reference library here. My personal library is empty. So yeah, maybe I haven't connected yet, or I don't use a reference management system. But I can still use the references, as I said, that were placed in the document beforehand to have them available here as well. So sharing references is really no problem at all, and other things as well. So if you want to comment on things in the document, you just mark a text portion and then you just say, hey, that needs maybe a second look, something like that. And then you can just leave that there. And everybody that's part of the document will be able to see that and also respond to the comment that you just left. Otherwise, maybe to highlight the track changes, if I just take a sentence and delete it and then talk about light bulbs from Denmark or something like that, we will see that I have an indication that's right now my alter ego is in this part of the document and is working, but it's hard to track right out of the get-go working in the editor. We can see that later when we track the changes and compare revisions, but if you're looking for a way to immediately find consensus on wording things or articulate and express things the right way, you can use the suggestion mode, which is also available through the trial. And rather than marking things and leave a comment, I can also say, hey, I actually want to phrase that a little differently. So rather than it being an interesting, it is maybe rather a boring demo. And then you can propose such a suggestion here, and you will see right away, hey, we're looking for a new term, a new wording here. Do the other people, the other collaborators actually agree with that? And as you see here, the comments menu shows me that there are new comments left, which I can access from here like this. So it will lead me to the place here, and then I can reply and say things like, thanks, will do, and then leave a thumbs up, something like that. And as you see here, we have two different people commenting about specifics of the document, or we'll see that there's a new wording proposed for interesting, and then I can once again write a comment, start the communication, or just be a good sport and say, yeah, actually, you're right, and accept the change. And then it will be applied automatically as well, as you see here. So as you see, a lot of venues, a lot of angles that you can use in collaborating in SciFlow, from sharing references to communication and also tracking changes, which would be the last point on my list. So let's just go ahead and open the document history, because that is where all the revisions are stored and accessible to give you the chance to track and experience how a document progressed through the weeks or month that you worked on it. So as you see here, by default, the current document state is shown. So if I scroll down to the chapter where we worked the most at in the last few minutes, you will see that it looks like this here. And then I have this for invites revision that I made. So if I select that one, SciFlow will jump to the state it was in for that revision. And once it loads, you will see, okay, it looks a little bit different, a little less contents here. And the nice thing is with your trial access, you can actually start to compare two revisions. So you don't have to jump between the revisions. You can tell SciFlow, hey, please compare these two revisions for me. And SciFlow will do that and then show you who changed what, by also indicating that via color. So here I see my alter ego changed the title, or changed this here, took out this sentence, replaced it with a new one. And then I will see that this actually was my doing, because while my alter ego suggested the change, I was the one who accepted it. So here you get an idea of how to track changes, how to see the progress in the document, and really how you want to use it is up to you. If you on top of that ever have questions, that is the last thing I really want to emphasize when it comes to trials. With the trials, you will also have the access to the support chat, which free users don't have. So if any of that, what I just said, doesn't make sense to you, or you have questions about it, you can ask us now in the webinar, or you can send us a message as well, which is part of the trial to really make sure that the members and users of your organization get the full and complete SciFlow experience. And that's it from me for now. I'm open to your questions. Maybe if there are already some that we should address, let me know, Carsten. Otherwise, I'll give it back to you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, so before we move to questions, we have one extra point. So most of the participants today actually are from Czech Republic, especially from one institution that is currently running an institutional trial. So I think it makes perfectly sense that our partner who introduced us to the institution and the trial say a few words. So over to you, Mr. Vladimir Karen.
Thank you very much, Carsten. I will switch to Czech so that our Czech colleagues and Slovak colleagues can follow more easily. Dobrý den, dobré odpoledne. Chtěl jsem jenom přidat několik málo poznámek. V prvé řadě bych teda chtěl říct, že naše společnost Albertina Ikome Praha a Albertina Ikome Bratislava začaly spolupracovat se společností SciFlow necelé 3 roky zpátky a za tu dobu máme několik institucionálních předplatitelů, zejména v České republice. A jenom velmi krátce zmíním, že Univerzita Pardubice, která byla prvním předplatitelem, tak dnes používá SciFlow k integraci se systémem OHS při publikování jejich vlastního časopisu. A další uživatel, což je Technická univerzita v Liberci, zase nedávno dokončila, nebo nedávno jsme společně s nimi dokončili implementaci institucionální šablony pro diplomové práce, kterou v těchto dnech začínají podle našich informací používat jejich uživatelé. Takže máme tyto 2 příklady těsnější kolaborace a těsnější integrace SciFlow do procesů našich univerzit. Jak je uvedeno na slajdu, v současné době mají zkušební přístup spuštěný na Slezské univerzitě v Opavě a v Karviné a připravuje se spuštění zkušebního přístupu na Univerzitě Komenského v Bratislavě. To je asi všechno, co jsem chtěl říct. Ukážu vám nakonec ještě kontakty na sebe a na své kolegy, abyste se s námi mohli spojit, pokud budete mít další dotazy, případně připomínky nebo jakékoliv další požadavky. Děkuji vám za pozornost a předám teď slovo ještě zpátky. That was it from me, Karsten or Arthur. I can't see if there are any questions or if we are done for today.
So I think today we definitely keep our promise to answer all questions, since right now in the Q&A there is none. Yeah, but what we can do, so the official part for the webinar is done. I think we will wait 1 more minute to see if there's a question which comes up, but you're free, of course, to leave now. We will send you the recording afterwards. Yeah, and thanks for joining the webinar today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, and it seems like we answered a question. There is one. I think we need to give speaking rights to that person. I think we can do that. Okay. If you have a question, you can now ask.
Please unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
I have a question. When I switch from one journal to other, which use different reference styling, does the SciFlow does splitting automatically remake the references in the text and also in the bibliography?
So the question is around changing references when switching journal, right?
Yeah. Because one journal use numbers as references, and the second is author's names and the years of the publication.
Yeah.
So if I
Yeah, so the short answer is yes. That is
okay.
So yeah. So if the references are in the text and you switch to journal and it's a different citation style, it changes automatically. I think there are over 8,000 citation styles we
Okay.
support. Yeah.
Another question: if I need to use mathematical formulas, is LaTeX the only option to write mathematical formulas, or are there any programs like MathType or something like this?
No, no, you can. So there's an equation editor in SciFlow, and you can write LaTeX code inside that editor.
Okay.
Of course,
Okay.
if you're, if you're, let's say, if your whole paper is about equations, this might be tricky. But here, what you see here is basically the LaTeX code, and in SciFlow there's the visual image for if your colleagues, for example, didn't write in LaTeX. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
It is all from me. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for asking. All right. Let's see. Are there more questions? No, it doesn't seem like it. Okay. So, thanks everyone for joining today. We'll send the recording and have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, Karsten and Arthur. Thank
Bye.
you, everyone.
Thank you, Vladimir.